Gibby! Everyone loves Gibby. Freak friend to Sam, Carly, and Freddie, an unofficial fourth member of the gang. Who could forget about Gibby? And it seems, least of all, Dan Schneider, creator of iCarly, Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, and a whole bunch of other stuff. You see, after Victorious and iCarly were coming to a close, he knew he was at a crossroads. He wanted to make some more sitcom content for Nickelodeon. So he and his boys get to thinking, get to cooking up here, and they come up with a pretty silly idea. What better a lead for this brand new sitcom than surprise breakout side character Gibby? And so the story goes. They write up a screenplay, they shoot a pilot, they show it to executives at Nickelodeon, and the executives do not like it and do not order any episodes, not even one season. They just say we don't want it. And so after that, it just kind of disappears. You know, this was all happening like way in the early 2010s, before Henry Danger, before Game Shakers with Pro Jared on it. All right, this was what was going to be next after iCarly, basically. And that relative mystery continued until the last couple years. You see, slowly but surely, as time went by and these things became a lot less relevant and a lot less risky to leak, things would leak about the Gibby show. First, it was a couple screenshots, and it was a picture of like the multicam setup while they were filming the show. Then the screenplay for the pilot leaked online. And then just last week, the pilot gets uploaded to this random small YouTube channel that uploads obscure content. And then I went fucking nuts. Because, what? What do you mean this thing that's just been gone for so long is now just accessible? You're telling me I can just watch this? You're telling me I can finally see what we've been missing? Okay, so the episode begins with Gibby causing some classic Gibby mischief. You see, his pet weasel got out, and it's biting his teacher's rump, okay? Beloved reoccurring character from iCarly, Principal Franklin, barges in. And he basically tells Gibby that if he doesn't want detention because of this whole weasel nonsense, he's got to help in the cafeteria on the middle school side of the school. Something I'm immediately noticing is how mannish Gibby looks. Like he looks maybe like a senior, if I'm being generous. But like, what was their plan if this show got picked up? Like, was it just going to be like an increasingly more obviously adult Gibby just like prowling around these fucking hallways? Because that sounds lit. And the pet weasel bites Principal Franklin's dick. We're gonna look at this show's theme song, and I'm sure it's something they would have like ironed out if the pilot got picked up into a series, but the disjointed Gibby song is also really funny. So on the middle school side of the cafeteria, Gibby is getting swarmed with fans because he's from iCarly, which is really funny. Then we see these loser idiot kids getting chicken nuggets thrown at them. So Gibby literally jumps in and saves the day. Gibby is a hero, dude. Booyah! The fake audience awes as Gibby feeds his weasel, which makes me wonder like how the producers thought the audience was going to react to this little disgusting fucking creature. The kids from the cafeteria approach Gibby and they say they want to hang out. And at first he's hesitant, but eventually he gives in, which is great news because child actors are very good. Also, I just want to clarify, if it seems like I'm being bare bones here, it's because there's like nothing to this fucking show, dude. Like, I know it's made for kids. But like, I don't even think kids would. I feel like anyone would get bored with this shit. Gibby sidelines these two like cheerleaders who ask him if they want to watch him practice. Gibby is a Sigma. Nah, but actually it's because he made a promise to these kids to hang out. So, you know, he's a man of his word. He's a hero. A Boy Scout. A beta. In the next scene, Gibby hangs out with the kids again. Some more. Again. Where is Freddie? Why does Gibby not kick it with Freddie? It was very bold of the producers of Gibby to hire children who are allergic to comedy. Dude, seriously, this fucking scene is going on for an eternity. And I'm just a normal guy. Like, they showed this shit to studio executives. Like, I feel like a studio executive would just be losing their mind at this fucking thing. Also, it's probably more like pilot stuff that would have been ironed out if it became a real show. But one of the transition songs they use is Whistle by Flo Rida, which is a song about a guy teaching a girl how to suck his dick. You ain't slick, Schneider! The next scene has Gibby and the kids hanging out and talking some more. Again, we get introduced to Ozzy, a crazy employee at the rec center who's like pretty functionally similar to Tebow from iCarly. These are some very creative people we got here. Also, then they make a joke about a couple kids getting inflated with air. Dan, stop. Then Gibby meets like the woman who I'm sure would have grown to be his unlikely love interest or whatever. Fucking snooze. Then Gibby talks to the kids some more. And this time he's like playing dodgeball while he's jumping on a trampoline. We get a montage and Gibby get hurt bad. Then Ozzy and Gibby start showing the kids how to play. So I'm like, what was the point of the montage, right? Then Ozzy jumped too high, get his head stuck. Yes! Gibby like creeps on the woman whose name we didn't learn earlier. And she entrusts the Rexair into Gibby's care, even though she's literally never met him. And the only thing that has happened since he arrived is that a different employee was gravely injured. The kids tell him he's the Gibby, and they agree to hang out the next day. Gibby is locking up when a couple bad guys show up with weapons, and they start getting into a scuffle with Gibby. Things are looking bad until one of the kids who like thinks he's a robot or something. I didn't bring it up because it's just too funny. He remembers he left his jacket and they see what's going on and the kids decide they're going to help old Gibby out. The audience cheers as the kids break in and start attacking these real world criminals who have reason to kill them. But they kick their fucking ass! Gibby takes off his shirt! Gibby! And then the kids take their shirts off too. Fucking damn! They run the bad guys out, and then Gibby and the kids have a big group hug. A shirtless group hug. With their shirts off. Dog. And the pilot ends with the theme song playing once again before suddenly cutting to black. That was awesome! Okay, no, but for real, I think it's pretty clear why this show didn't get picked up. There's nowhere near that same sort of like immediate appeal that something like iCarly has. The chemistry between the characters is nowhere near as compelling, and the whole thing just feels like a lot more aimless. The fact that it also exists within the iCarly universe is really weird and funny, because it feels so barren without these other characters we've come to know in this literal setting, in this same setting. It feels disjointed and awkward and not very good, to be honest with you. Like this weird continuation of the series. It feels totally odd, but it is really interesting to see all these arcs and like characters and personalities get set up with the knowledge that nothing was ever going to come of them. We would never see how Gibby liked the rec center or any of his wacky hijinks with Ozzy, or if he was ever going to land the woman who now will remain forever nameless. Dan Schneider would go on to make a few other shows for Nickelodeon before the company quietly cut ties with him in the late 2010s, which had to do basically with his less than savory reputation around children, which had become increasingly harder to ignore. His story has basically been quiet since then. Noah Monk, the actor who played Gibby, stayed out of the public eye in most ways, except for most notably when he started his YouTube channel, Sad World, which focuses on abstract music and absurdist comedy sketches. And seriously, like, this part of the story usually gets like glossed over, like, oh, and then Gibby like did some other online shit. But no, seriously, if you like comedy sketches or interesting filmmaking or experimental music, check it out, because it's really good shit. But as for Gibby, no one is truly to say. Who knows where he ended up? What he got up to? Just the thought sends a chill up my spine. Because happy Halloween, almost.